Once upon a time, there was a beautiful girl named Chima. She came from the village of Oju, and her name perfectly matched that of her parents, because she was born during the harvest season. She was the only beloved daughter of her devoted parents. Her beauty was the talk of the town, especially among the young girls who couldn't help but feel envious. She not only had remarkable looks, but also carried herself with elegance and good manners. Chima's parents, though not wealthy, felt blessed to have such a beautiful daughter, who never caused them any trouble. However, because she was their only child, Om's parents were extremely protective, and didn't allow her to join the village girls' association. One fine day, as Chima went to the stream to fetch water, she met 3 girls from the association. The girls excitedly told her about a festival they planned to attend, and enthusiastically invited her to join them. With a hint of regret, Chima sincerely apologized, explaining that her parents had forbidden her from going out that evening. The 3 girls, feeling envious of Chima, started gossiping about her. They thought she was snobbish and proud because of her beauty. Out of spite, they began plotting revenge, upset that she hadn't accepted their invitation or joined their group. They spent a lot of time thinking of ways to put Chima in danger. Finally, one of the girls suggested going to Chima's house every day to help her with her chores. She believed she could lure Chima and take her revenge. Despite the daily visits and help from the 3 girls, Chima's parents remained unconvinced. They were well aware of the jealousy these girls harbored toward their daughter, and constantly reminded her not to trust them under any circumstances. However, Chima always saw the best in people. She was convinced that these girls truly cared for her and considered them her best friends. Toward the end of the year, there was a grand event called the New Yam Festival, to which Chima's parents had been invited. The festival was to take place in Ogula, about 2 hours from their home. Chima was extremely excited about the event and dreamed of joining the dance, but her parents firmly refused. Instead, they gave her a long list of chores to complete before they left, thinking this would surely prevent her from leaving. They believed there was no way she could finish all the tasks in time. On the morning of the festival, the 3 jealous girls came to see Chima and encouraged her to join them. She explained that her parents had forbidden her from leaving and sadly showed them the overwhelming amount of work she had to complete. She had to fill numerous pots with water. She needed to polish the walls. She was expected to cook all the food. On top of that, she still had to weed around the house and clean the entire area. She explained that it was impossible for her to leave until all the work was finished. Hearing this, the girls pretended to sympathize. They immediately picked up the water pots, went to the river, and quickly returned with them filled. They swept the floors, weeded the compound, and even cooked all the food. When everything was done, they said to Chima, "Now you have no reason to stay. All the work is finished." Chima was overjoyed and excited to attend the festival. She agreed to join them. On their way to the town where the new youth festival was being held, they came across a small river about 1.5 meters deep. This river was home to a powerful deity, who had one strict rule: anyone who crossed the river, and returning the same way required offering food to the deity residing in the river. If someone failed to make this offering, the deity would drag them underwater and keep them captive. The 3 jealous girls were well aware of this rule, having crossed the river many times. However, Chima, being a well-behaved girl who rarely went out, knew nothing about the deity or its rules. When they reached the river, they all crossed without any difficulty. On the other side, they noticed a small bird perched on a tree. The bird seemed to adore Chima, singing praises of her beauty, much to the annoyance of the three girls. Nevertheless, they continued silently and eventually reached the town where the festival was being held. When Chima arrived in town, all the young men of the village admired her and sang her praises. She was hailed as the most beautiful woman at the dance, receiving drinks, meat, and anything she desired. This made the three girls even more envious and irritated. While Chima enjoyed herself, dancing through the night, she couldn't avoid being seen by her parents, who eventually found her. When they saw her, they expressed their disappointment and anger, demanding that she return home immediately. This saddened her deeply. When she told her friends the news, they convinced her to stay a little longer and enjoy herself. "All right," Chima said, "we'll just dance a little more and have one last meal, then we'll head back." They sat together and enjoyed their meal. However, each of the three girls, consumed by jealousy, secretly kept a small portion of food for the river deity. Unfortunately, Chima, being unaware of the tradition, did not set aside anything for the deity. When they finished, they started heading home. Upon arriving at the river, Chima noticed the girls making their offerings to the deity. She kindly asked them for a bit of food so she could make her offering too. To her surprise, they all refused and began laughing maliciously. Shocked, Chima knelt down and pleaded, "Please, let me have just a little food to offer to the deity." But they refused. Instead, they crossed the river without any trouble, laughing as they went. When it was Chima's turn to cross, she reached the middle of the river. Suddenly, the deity appeared and demanded an offering. Since she had nothing to offer, the deity roared in anger and dragged her underwater, making her disappear from sight. The three girls, who had been watching the incident, burst into hysterical laughter and continued on their way. They said to each other, "Now Chima is gone forever, and we won't have to hear about her being more beautiful than us anymore. Now we can find good husbands to marry in the village," as it seemed all the men were only interested in Chima. Since no one was around and Chima had vanished, they ignored the little bird. Stay tuned for the continuation of the story. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you. Love and comment for part 2.